The year is 1279 BC. The place, the sun-baked sands of Kadesh. Ramesses the Great, pharaoh of the 19th dynasty, stands before a 500,000-man army, the most powerful terrestrial force in the world, preparing to conquer the Hittites and cement his legacy. The bronze is polished, the chariots are lined up, and the world holds its breath for the clash of titans. But in a flash of shimmering, impossible light, the geography of the battlefield is torn. 1,000 human beings appear, clad not in bronze or linen, but in what the Egyptians can only interpret as black, green, and tan ceramic scales. They move with an unnatural speed, an eerie silence, and the ground-shaking roar of their arrival is a machine, a multi-ton transport that coughs out heat and the smell of jet fuel. A smell that hasn't existed for 3 millennia. This is not a fair fight. This is not even a comparison of armies. This is the collision of a species that computes the world at the speed of light against a species that perceives it at the speed of sound. This is 300,000 of the finest soldiers of the new kingdom against 1,000 U.S. Marines. The technological gap isn't a difference of millimeters. It's a gap of 500,000 years of military evolution. The pharaoh's heart pounds with arrogance and certainty. He sees 1,000 trespassers. He sees a swift victory. He sees history bending to his will. What he doesn't see is the invisible war. He doesn't see the thermal signatures lighting up his army like a Christmas tree on a tablet screen miles away. He doesn't hear the satellite comms coordinating the ambush. He has no concept of the $50 billion arsenal currently preparing to wipe his entire civilization from the map. We are about to watch not a battle, but an annihilation. This is how the United States Marine Corps, with only 1,000 men, would defeat and conquer the entire 300,000-strong army of ancient Egypt. To understand this catastrophic mismatch, you must understand the true meaning of military advantage. It's not just about firepower, it's about information, speed, and doctrine. The Egyptian doctrine, mass and might. The Egyptian army at 300,000 operates on the principle of sheer, overwhelming mass. They are masters of the Bronze Age. 200,000 infantry, 70,000 archers, and 30,000 chariots, the era's most effective mobile weapon. Their weapons, bronze spears, axes, and composite bows, are designed for kinetic impact, relying on the warrior's muscle and the momentum of the charge. Their armor is linen and leather, offering nominal protection against similar weapons. Crucially, their command structure is based on human runners, smoke signals, and the visible authority of the pharaoh. Their UAD loop, observe, orient, decide, act, takes minutes, sometimes hours to complete. They can only react to what they can physically see and hear. The Marine Doctrine, precision and power. The 1,000 Marines, a standard Marine Air-Ground Task Force, MAGTF element, are an asymmetrical, post-industrial killing machine. Their doctrine is combined arms maneuver, air, land, and information superiority working as one seamless unit. Speed. The average Marine's reaction time is sub-second. Their command is near instantaneous via secure radio communications and networked C4ISR. Command control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Their OODA loop is measured in milliseconds, running orders of magnitude faster than the pharaoh's ability to even register a threat. Firepower, forget spears and arrows. Every Marine is equipped with the M27 Infantry Automatic Rifle, IAR, firing a high-velocity 5.56 millimeter round, capable of penetrating a car engine, rendering leather armor completely irrelevant. Supporting them are automatic grenade launchers, Javelin anti-tank missiles, weapons designed to disable main battle tanks, and mortar teams. The Javelin alone could vaporize a chariot from 4 kilometers away. Protection. The Marines are encased in level-free SAPI plates, ceramic armor impervious to any projectile the Egyptian army possesses. A bronze arrowhead striking a Marine's chest plate would shatter harmlessly, merely leaving a dent. A psychological horror show for the Egyptian archer. The invisible enemy. The Marines don't need line of sight. They have UAVs, drones, flying high above, providing a God's eye view of the entire 300,000-man formation in real time. The Pharaoh's entire battle plan is literally a series of illuminated dots on a Marine lieutenant's tablet. The stage is set. The Pharaoh is blind, deaf, and slow. The Marines are operating within a bubble of total information and kinetic superiority. The gap is not technological, it is existential. The battle begins not with a roar, but with a whisper, a series of coded clicks transmitted via satellite link from the commander's armored vehicle, the MRAP, positioned miles away. The Pharaoh, expecting a traditional charge, has his massive infantry line advancing slowly, a wave of bronze and sun-reflecting shields. Phase 1, the Invisible Hammer, minutes 0 to 5. The first strike is not from a rifle, but from the air. A Marine Corps Predator drone, operating at 15,000 feet, is completely invisible and inaudible to the Egyptians. Its target acquisition is flawless. The focus, the chariots, the 30,000 chariots, the backbone of Egyptian mobility and shock power, are tightly packed and moving towards the flanks. The Marine targeting system designates this cluster as Priority Kill Zone Alpha. A lieutenant calls the fire mission, adjust fire, grid 7 Echo 9, danger close, high explosive. From a hidden position 5 kilometers away, the 120mm mortar teams fire. Unlike historical siege weapons, these are precision-guided munitions. They land not randomly, but directly into the heart of the chariot formations. The sound is not the clap of thunder, but the terrifying crump of high-explosive fragmentation. Each shell detonates with the force of a small truck bomb, casting shrapnel over a 50-meter radius. Bronze Age armor does not stop fragmentation. The chariots, horses, and riders are instantly reduced to wet, mangled debris. The explosion's sheer kinetic force and concussive pressure rupture organs. The Egyptians, focused on the Marines visible on the horizon, have no idea where the destruction is coming from. Panic ripples through the ranks. Chariot divisions, now leaderless and scattered, turn back into the advancing infantry, creating chaos. In 5 minutes, 30% of the chariot force is neutralized without a single Marine firing a direct shot. Phase 2, the symmetrical kill zone, minutes 5:15. Ramesses, enraged and baffled, orders the main infantry force to charge, relying on sheer numbers to overwhelm the tiny Marine contingent. The 300,000 men accelerate into a disorganized rush. The Marines deployed in a linear ambush formation behind hastily erected sandbag and earth defenses don't wait. Their mission is maximum lethality at maximum range. The M27 IARs open fire. The sound is not a volley, but a sustained, deafening metallic rip. The sound of 1,000 automatic weapons firing 750 rounds per minute. The Marines fire in short, controlled bursts, utilizing their ECHOG optics to place every shot precisely into the center mass of the enemy. The Egyptians are still 400 meters away, out of range for even their strongest composite bows, which only fly high and wildly, but the Marines' effective range is 550 meters. The bullets are invisible, supersonic needles of death. They tear through linen armor, muscles, and bones, creating horrific exit wounds. The front lines of the Egyptian charge don't fall, they disintegrate. The momentum of the advance is instantly broken as every man within the engagement zone is systematically cut down. Crucially, the Marines are using suppressing fire and movement. As one 10-man squad reloads its 30-round magazines, the adjacent squad provides overwhelming fire, ensuring a continuous storm of lead. The Egyptians see thousands of their comrades drop lifelessly, but still cannot reach the enemy. A psychological blow that completely shatters their morale. Phase 3, the Javelin Shockwave, minutes 15:20. Ramesses attempts his last strategic maneuver. He orders his guard, the elite, heavy infantry, to bypass the fire and attempt to breach the Marine line. This is exactly what the Marines wanted. The Javelin anti-tank missile team locks onto the dense formation of Royal Guards. The Javelin is a fire-and-forget weapon that flies in a parabolic arc, striking the target from the top, the weakest point of any armor. They fire. There is a streak of white smoke, followed by a massive, blinding explosion right in the middle of the Pharaoh's elite forces. The thermobaric warhead generates immense heat and pressure, vaporizing everything within a 20-meter radius. The resulting shockwave turns the remaining nearby soldiers into internal messes of pulp. The very concept of a weapon that can destroy a large body of men from kilometers away, with no visible projectile, is a reality-bending horror for the Egyptians. This single action decapitates the organized resistance. Ramesses himself, witnessing the impossible destruction of his best men, is paralyzed by a terror that surpasses human comprehension. He is facing gods of war, not men. Phase 4, mopping up and information control, minutes 20 plus. With the command structure shattered and the front lines neutralized, the remaining 250,000 Egyptian soldiers are no longer an army. They are a disorganized, terrified mob. They try to flee, but the Marines use their unmanned aerial surveillance, UAS, to direct fire onto escape routes, ensuring the slaughter is efficient and absolute. Marine snipers using Barrett 50 caliber rifles pick off high-value targets, any officers trying to restore order, from distances up to 1,500 meters. The heavy, slow-moving 50 caliber round can obliterate a man's torso completely. The Marine Corps suffers 0 casualties. The 300,000-man army of the New Kingdom is functionally annihilated within 1 hour. Its destruction orchestrated by technology that makes its very existence impossible. The cost in bronze and lives is astronomical, the defeat absolute. The sun sets on the Egyptian empire before the first Marine has to change his ceramic plate. The annihilation of 300,000 soldiers is not just a battle lost, it is the collapse of a civilization. The immediate impact is the psychological terror. The survivors, scattered and traumatized, return with impossible stories of invisible fire and men who cannot be killed. This is a trauma that transcends military defeat and enters the realm of myth and divine punishment. The notion of a superior power is instantly cemented. But this superior power does not demand gold or slaves. It operates on a cold, surgical logic that is far more terrifying. The logistical nightmare. The destruction of 300,000 men creates an immediate logistical crisis. Egypt relied on this massive labor force, both as soldiers and as workers, to maintain its infrastructure and agriculture. The loss of that many able-bodied men is equivalent to an immediate, crippling economic depression and famine. The fields are unplowed, the granaries are unattended, and the Nile flood, the lifeblood of Egypt, becomes an unchecked threat due to lack of manpower for canal maintenance. The power vacuum, Ramesses the Great, if he survives, is instantly stripped of his divine right in his authority. How can a pharaoh claim to be the son of Ra when he cannot defeat 1,000 men sent by an unknown, impossible god? Local governors and rival factions, smelling weakness and facing civil unrest, would immediately begin to revolt. The empire fractures into smaller warring states, accelerating its decline by millennia. The technological imposition, the time bomb. The Marines didn't just defeat an army, they introduced concepts that would corrupt the timeline. Modern composite materials, spent rifle casings, jet fuel residue, and the few destroyed fragments of their equipment, if recovered, would be objects of profound mystery and power. Ancient smiths might attempt to reverse engineer the impossible lightness and strength of Kevlar and ceramic, completely bypassing the Bronze and Iron Ages. Metallurgy, chemistry, and physics, the very foundations of Egyptian knowledge, are made redundant overnight. The intervention of 1,000 Marines thus achieves a total, non-negotiable conquest. They don't need to occupy the land. They have demonstrated absolute power. They control the flow of information via satellite and the flow of force via air superiority. The Egyptian empire, one of the most enduring in history, is invaded and fundamentally defeated in one afternoon, never to recover its former glory. The future of the Mediterranean is permanently altered by 1,000 shots fired on the sands of Kadesh. The Marines left behind a world reeling from a technological singularity. But the question remains, could any ancient force truly resist? If the U.S. Marines had faced 300,000 Roman legionaries at the peak of their discipline, relying on tight formations and steel rather than bronze and mass, would the outcome have been different? Would the disciplined efficiency of the Roman war machine have stood a chance against the invisible hammer of air power and the supersonic rain of modern lead? Or would the cohort simply have become another, slightly better organized, pile of historical debris? Let us know in the comments below. 1,000 U.S. Marines versus 300,000 peak Roman legionaries. Who would be annihilated? Kung Ku.